Hey guys, Mammoth Guitar Dude here. I wanted to post a quick video on using a Wingbone turkey call. This is one that I made about 2.5 years ago that I've been hunting with. And this is a new one that I just made. And so I want to show you and tell you how to get a Yelp and a Cluck out of these calls. It's easier than you think. So the first thing to keep in mind is that this is a suction call. Okay, you don't blow air through it. You draw air through it. Okay, so being a suction call, you also want to have a little bit of back pressure on the wing bone, and the way that I do that is I use my trigger finger to cover up the opening in the bell of the call. So I'll use my first finger to cover up a large portion of this hole at the end of the wing bone call. Okay, so you want a little bit of back pressure and you want to draw air through the call. And I'll talk next about lip placement. Okay, so this, let's just call this the mouthpiece, the tip of the mouthpiece, if you will. You have to play around with it on your lips, and you only want to insert just a small portion of this mouthpiece between your lips. So imagine this is your lips, and you want to just barely insert just a little bit of it. And what happens is when you draw the air, your lips are going to clamp down and flutter, and that's what produces the call. Okay, so you just have to play around with it. At first I started out on the side, but what I found is I have better control if I run it closer to the center of my two lips. Okay, but this is just something that you got to play around with and find out which part of your mouth, your lips, works best for you. So let's move on to the next part. Okay, to yelp, there are two parts of a hen yelp. There's the high part and then there's the low part, high note and the low note. The best way to learn how to use this call is to begin by, barely inserting it in between your lips and producing what I call the squeal. So I've got my back pressure going on, okay, and I cup the call like this. I place it in my lips and I just draw air through the call. So practice drawing air, the call place wherever you can get it in between your lips, and try to produce that squeal. Okay, and that's the high part of the yelp. Now let's do the low part. The cool thing about the low part is that's also your cluck. So once you find the low part, and again, this doesn't have to be perfect because hens aren't perfect in the woods. You can release your finger just a little bit to make it sound different. Okay, so now let's put the squeal and the cluck together for the yelp. Alright, so here we go with the yelp. And that's how you do a yelp on a wingbone turkey call. What I would recommend on a wingbone call is practicing a lot. Really practicing a lot at the house, and try to call on this thing as softly as possible. So one of the beauties of this call is it produces those early morning or those feeding soft little yelps, tree yelps, really, really well. And especially if you're wearing gloves and you cup your hands, it is amazing how good it sounds in the woods and how soft it is. So practice using this call softly at first, like this. It is phenomenal how close that sounds to a hen turkey up in the tree. One of my first hunts this year, my first hunt, I had 2 hens roosted in a tree up above me, and one of them did that. And I was like, wow. I mean, it sounded just like this wingbone call. Let you hear this one just a little bit. This one's a little bit harder to blow because you got to draw more air, but it still sounds really good. Really, the trick with these calls is just finding a place on your lips where you just barely insert that mouthpiece, and you can just draw. It's an amazing light amount of air that you're drawing past the call, and just and producing those soft little clucks and tree yelps. Yeah, so practice makes perfect, right? And give it a shot if you've got one of these wingbone calls, or you get a gobbler this year or whatever, cut off the wing. Catman Outdoors has a great video on making a wingbone call. I'll link it in the description below, but highly recommend you add this into your turkey hunting arsenal. It's been a little bit of a game changer for me. I mean, I've gotten super, super close to turkeys using this wingbone. Closer than I've ever been in over 20 years of turkey hunting. So give it a shot. I think you'll be surprised at the results that you get. Take care. Bye-bye.